All right, hello students. Today we're moving on with lesson 4, the opposite of a number. So let's go ahead and kind of look at the first part. It says exercise 1, walk the number line, excuse me. Each non-zero integer has an opposite. So as long as it's not 0, it has an opposite. It's denoted as negative a or opposite a. This little sign here doesn't mean subtraction all the time. It also means negative or the opposite. Just like subtraction is the opposite of addition. So we have the opposite of a and a are opposites of each of if they are on opposite sides of 0 and the same distance from 0 on the number line. So that's kind of the key part right there, is that we're going to talk about negative a or opposite a, and a are opposites if they are on opposite sides of 0 and the same distance from 0 on the number line. So that's kind of the key part, or kind of what we're going to be talking about today, is understanding the negative a or negative number is the opposite of positive. I'm sorry, they use a here. A is called a variable. It's just we can substitute any number in for that, and for it. It works for every number except non-zeros. I guess we should underline that as well. Let's go and get our red marker out. And we're talking about non-zero integers. We can't use 0. 0 does not have an opposite because 0 is neither positive nor negative. All right, let's go and look at example number 1 down here. It says every number has an opposite. It says locate the number 8 and its opposite on the number line. Explain how they are related to 0. So let's go ahead and first identify 8. So we're going to identify the number 8. So if we look at 0, 8 is over here. And of course, we're going to mark it. And we're going to put that bubble in there for 8. And then we're going to go ahead and identify its opposite. I'm going to use red for its opposite. Well, remember, a positive 8 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units from 0 to the right. Therefore, its opposite has to be 8 units to the left of 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And of course, if you look at them, they both have 8s. They both look exactly the same, except this is negative, and this one over here is by itself, or we call it positive. Okay. All right, so now it says explain how they are related to 0. So a lot of people are just skipping over this part. Remember, you have to make sure we're explaining. This is kind of the big part of understanding. So we say 8 and negative 8 are the same distance, right? Because they're both 8 units from 0, but on opposites. So kind of going the different or opposite directions. Yeah, opposite sides. Let's go and just use sides. I like sides better. All right, so there you go. So I plotted the points like it asked me to, and I explained how they are related to 0. 8 and negative 8 are the same distance from 0, but on opposite sides. I guess we should actually add in there of 0. There you go. Let's kind of make sure it's a little bit more detailed, so let's go and add that into it. All right, if you look down at the very bottom, it says on here, it says locate and label. So a lot of people are not doing this. They're locating, but they're not labeling. So remember, when you're locating a number, make sure you label as well, especially when you have multiple ones like this. All right, so locate and label the opposite of the number on the number line. So once again, locate and label the opposite of the number on the number line. So they're going to give us a number. We're going to locate the opposite of it. So actually, I'm going to do this kind of in different colors. So if we look at 9, the opposite of 9 is negative 9. So I'm going to write the opposites right next to it. So here we go. So negative 9 is right here, because that's the opposite of the positive 9. And now let's go ahead and label it A, because that is letter A. All right, if you have a different color, let's go and take out a different color. Negative 2, the opposite of negative 2 is positive 2, because negative 2 is here. That goes 1, 2 from 0. I want to go 1, 2 to the right of 0, so let's go ahead and label it. And of course, that's letter B, so make sure we label it. Go ahead, different color if you have one. Let's go 4. The opposite of 4 is negative 4. So here's positive 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the right of 0. So I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the left of 0. And of course, that's C. So let's make sure we label it. And the last one, 7, the opposite of -7, excuse me, opposite of -7 is +7. Once again, we can continue counting. -7 is 7 units away from 0, so +7 is 7 units to the right of 0. So remember, we found the opposites of each of the numbers. And there you go. All right, so that's kind of the first part, dealing with opposites. Please make sure you're reading carefully to identify what they want you to do and where they want you to do it before you just simply go into it. Let's go ahead and you're going to stop the video, and then we can go ahead and move to the next one so we can move on with exercise number 3.